Hello, I'm Noah Quinn,
And I'm Maria Dabrowski.
and our project is called the Namazu Tower. In Japanese mythology, the Namazu is a giant catfish who causes earthquakes, and the story goes that the Namazu lives under the mud, and whenever it flops around under the mud, it causes the rest of Japan to shake.
Let's take a look at the research we conducted.
So initially, Maria and I had both done our assigned research, and we had found that, as many other groups found, that triangles as being the strongest shape and supporters, we wanted to incorporate um, large bases that spanned with large cross trusses that shaped triangles with the bases. So obviously that helped our base stay strong as our base never broke, but also we based our model off a design from an engineering student from Purdue University that posted one of their projects online. And we were able to see at the very top they had kind of a V shape, which created three more triangles at the top. So while we didn't support it as much as we'd like to up top, we had the support we needed that we found from our research. Also, we had found out from our own research that was unrelated to architecture, but that memory foam actually is a great absorber of shock waves. You can see the commercials where there's a guy jumping on the bed and with the glass of wine in the corner of the bed, and it doesn't fall over because it absorbs shock waves. We saw the exact same effects with our building during the shaking, as the base never broke and it remained strong throughout the presentation. While Maria's design was probably better than mine, she was absent the day we chose, so we ran with mine. So we built our first two walls fairly quickly, and that was all good. And while we thought we were getting ahead by building the other two walls, Miss Ferraro quickly pointed out that despite our accurate symmetry, the walls just wouldn't fit. 2 more days went by, and we still hadn't raised a single one of the floors. I looked around and was like, oh crap, everyone's almost done raising their floors, and we haven't even started. Those were the days that when Maria was out, but when Maria finally returned, we were able to raise all of our floors in a day and a half. We also feared that the cross trusses wouldn't support our building, so we added additional horizontal beams resting on top of floor plates. Describe the success of our tower in the last 48 hours.
Well, although the floors are very crooked, I'm happy to report that our tower is standing upright. Oh, that's not looking good. That's very unstable. We need to reglue this.
What?
But otherwise, it's good.
Once our crooked building was finally standing upright, and we decided to glue it to the memory foam, we had some troubles holding it down. So what we had to do is stuff additional pieces of ripped off foam on top of it just so it would stay even.
The first question is compare your complete structure to your full drawing. How do the two compare? What changes did you make during the construction and why? Be specific. Our final product is similar to to Noah's original drawing. There are slanted supports going up halfway through the building, and then at the top are triangular shaped supports on the top two levels, and so that's similar to the first drawing. Also, the first drawing didn't include memory foam, which we decided to include ultimately because, with the hope that it would absorb the shock from the shaking of the machine. Also, we added supports on the bottom because the two bars going diagonally we decided wouldn't be enough support. So we added a bar going straight up and then another triangle structure, since triangles are the most effective in earthquake building. Also, we put supports under each floor plates, which was not in the original drawing, and we put a bar of support above each floor plate also. So it was a floor plate, a bar, and a bar of balsa wood. That's how the two compare. Pretty similar with just a few additions to make it hopefully stronger. The prediction for the building is not very hopeful because we saw buildings that looked a lot sturdier and had straight floors and no memory foam, and a more constant design with a lot more support that didn't fare as well as they would appear to look. And since ours doesn't even appear to look like it will do well, chances are it won't.
Hater!
I give it maybe 18 seconds. I don't think it's going to fare very well. It's pretty shoddy construction work. The weakness of the building, the few weaknesses are, one, that the memory foam might not work because we weren't able to cut it in a way that would make sure that it was balanced on both sides, which made our building lean. Another weakness could, in fact, be the tilting of our floors, because that doesn't create a very stable building at all. And maybe our diagonal supports, instead of doing triangular supports all the way up, the diagonal aspect may not enhance the building as much as we hoped. Hopefully everything stays on too. That could also be an issue in terms of the building to the memory foam to the base, because we had to super glue that on. The strengths of the building are most likely going to be the triangular structures at the top and on the bottom. Also, we tried to make sure that the building wasn't too top heavy, because that's obviously not a strength that would make the building tip very easily. Another strength, hopefully, will be the memory foam in absorbing some of the shock that comes from the shaking of the building. And we made sure that everything that was built was very a good size so that it could glue in properly, in the hope that the rigidity of the box would make it less prone to collapse. We encountered a few difficulties in our construction, the first being that Noah had to do 2 days by himself, which was a little bit of a difficulty. In terms of the actual construction, we at first built 3 walls but realized that this wouldn't work in the end, so we had to discard one of our walls, and then we realized after we had glued everything down that our floor plates were in fact slanted, which was a bit problematic. We couldn't really fix it though because the glue was just very dry. It was more like this. We also had difficulties with the memory foam. It was very hard to rip, or to cut, so we had to rip it by hand, which meant that it was a little bit uneven. So when we finally glued our whole board down, or our whole building down, the memory foam made it so that the whole building was lopsided, not just the floors. And another thing that we had difficulty in doing was making sure that each floor had the support underneath, to ensure that we weren't going over any of the rules. And lastly, we had some problems with making sure that everything fit according to the original design while still maintaining the new ideas that we had. Yeah.
Don't go yet.
I'm not ready. I'm just making sure this thing is like functional.
Tell me when to start it.
Okay. Whenever you're ready.
3, 2, 1.
Oh man.
15.
This is garbage.
Oh, this is lasting longer than ours.
Yeah, I know.
This one is good. I like this.
What was that, Jace?
Oh my god.
Con los terroristas.
Our structure was a lot more successful than we thought it was going to be. It held up for 1 minute and 5 seconds, which was impressive considering the building's appearance. The part of the building that failed first was the top floor. It slid off, but that was the only part of the building that failed until Matt destroyed it at the end.
I wasn't there but from the video and from what I've seen from Maria, it appeared that our building was successful. I think it was because of the memory foam. Probably a pretty good indicator of it, but don't judge a book by its cover.
I think that the tower was strong in large part because of the memory foam, which absorbed the shock. And also we had a lot of triangular support on the bottom, and triangular support is the best support. It was not strong at the top. We really didn't have a lot of support because we were focusing on keeping the bottom strong, which is why the top broke.
We based our design off a project that was assigned at Purdue University's engineering school, and the design came up with a way to support both the bases with cross trusses that we did, but as we saw from the results, the top wasn't equally as balanced as the rest of the structure.
The tower definitely performed up to our expectations. They exceeded our expectations. I mean, it exceeded. We didn't think it was going to last very long.
We had a lot of haters, but haters are the motivators. So we felt we had all the research we needed to succeed. It was more the execution aspect. Maria was sick for a couple days, and so obviously it was difficult for me to hold up cross supports by myself, but once she came back, everything became a lot easier for both of us. Also, it's all about the gluing, which makes it seem like it's not actually like real architecture because you don't have to support your structures with glue in real life. So it's more of a delicate procedure, which we failed at.
Yeah, I would agree. Like Noah said, the research portion of it was something that we both did well on, and we both really found a lot of things to support different structures and their benefits. But the construction phase was difficult, and measuring things and cutting things at the right place and not making them too tall or too short, and having to deal with variations that we made from the actual drawing during the construction also made it difficult because we didn't have the numbers to plan exactly what we wanted to. That's what we would do differently.